Hello viewers and welcome to another session of Autodesk Civil 3D 2022. We have recently started a new section and I hope that you have gone through all the study material that I have shared in the last lecture, which was lecture number 48. So today we will learn about the break lines. I hope you have gone through the break lines folder and read all the data about it. So basically in this session, we will start with two different surfaces and see the difference. First, we will create a standard surface and name it as surface number 1. The style can be changed to 1 meter and 5 meter background. We will base it on the points. So here we have the point group. Let's add it and do for all points. Once we hit apply and then OK, you can see the surface has been formed based on the points. We can view it like this. You can see that there are large size triangles available, and we can assume that this surface is not quite close to what it should have been in original. We can go to the surface properties and make it no display. This time we create a new surface. We can rename as surface 2. Keeping the other things as by default. This time, when we go to point groups and add to all points, we will get the very similar surface that we got in surface number 1. You can see there is no change. What we are going to do is, we are going to add the break lines. In order to do so, let's go to surface 2 properties and temporarily we will turn off its display. Here we will create a new group filter. We can name it as Topo. We will create a new layer called as break lines. We can change the color to red. Here we can rename it as break line. Let's apply for the break lines now. With this layer as active, now we will use 3D poly command. And now we have to create these polylines. First, we have to connect all these which are named as BC. Then we will do it for PC and so on. You might be wondering why we have chosen 3D poly instead of standard polyline. Well, I would like you to experiment it yourself as well. If you go for the standard polyline, it will create the line in 2 dimensions. The elevation of that line would be 0. However, if you go for the 3D poly command, it will create the polyline with different elevations. This is a very basic key and you must remember it. So we have to connect all these points named as BC. Now we have created 2 break lines. Let's go for the third one. It is FC. Make sure you connect all the FCs together. Once the line is complete, you can simply press enter or space bar to complete the command. Again, we will choose 3D poly command and connect all these PC points. You might be wondering that I did not press 3D poly and started using this command already. There is a very basic feature that if we press space bar, the space bar key in the keyboard, it will automatically use the command which was done previously. So once I activated the 3D poly, I drew the first polyline, then press space bar to complete the command and again press space bar to initiate the new command. Now we have all these break lines complete. Here you can see this is white, so we can change it to red. Let's bring this 0 to our new group as well. We can select one break line, go for select similar, and now you can see we can go and check in object viewer. These break lines have different elevations, and this is the reason we used 3D poly command instead of standard polyline. In surface 2, we will add the break lines. There are different types like standard, proximity, wall, but we will go with standard now. Press OK. Now it will ask to select them. So let's select these 5 break lines. Then we can press the enter key. We turned the surface to style to no display. So in order to see it, we have to change the surface style. First we will see surface 1. This was the surface 1. You can see these dark big patches. They are empty, and here we can assume that the information is incorrect. Let's see from this point. If we want to go quite near to what this surface would actually be, we have to use the surface with the break lines, and let's display it now. Let's go with 1 meter and 5 meter. Now you can see these straight lines available, no large areas. Now you can see it. This surface is quite near to the original one. You can definitely tweak it more, but for now, the purpose was to understand and apply the break lines, and that we have done it. Let's go to surface properties. Again, we will make it to no display. Let's use underscore 3D poly again and connect these points on the left side and the right side. Sometimes you will not see very considerable difference, but sometimes we get a very fine result by adding these boundaries. So we will have to add break line again. Let's choose the standard one, press OK, and then we will select both of these lines. Press enter, and we are all done. Let's go to surface 2 properties, and instead of no display, we can go for 1 meter and 5 meter. In object view, you can see a slightly considerable difference. but we can assume that now we are very close to the original surface, and the further procedures can be drawn on this one. Let's save the file as lecture number 49, as we were doing all the changes in the supporting file. Once it is saved, we can close Autodesk Civil 3D. So this was the concept of break lines. I hope that you have understood it well. See you in another session. Till then, take care.